Welcome back to Current Pulse. Today, we bring you the latest on the Mapisa Nqakula corruption case. A story gripping South Africa. Former National Assembly Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa Nqakula appeared at the Pretoria High Court, where her corruption trial and money laundering charges were once again in the spotlight. This case, involving 12 corruption charges and 1 money laundering case, has been officially postponed to November 21st, 2025. In this video, we break down what happened in court, why the Pretoria High Court delayed the trial, and what this means for South Africa's political future. Let's start with what happened this week at the Pretoria High Court. The defense team for Mapisa Nqakula requested more time to study the state's docket. The corruption case was delayed because the documents were only handed to them recently. Her lawyers argued that they need additional time to subpoena bank records, especially the bank records of businesswoman Nombasa Ntsondwa, who is accused of paying bribes in exchange for government tenders. Because of these legal moves, the judge granted the postponement, setting the new date for the 21st of November 2025. This means South Africans will have to wait months before the corruption trial resumes. Now let's go deeper into the charges. Mapisa Nqakula faces 12 counts of corruption and 1 of money laundering. Prosecutors allege that during her time as defense minister, she accepted bribes worth around $4.5 million in return for awarding lucrative tenders. This makes the Mapisa Nqakula corruption case one of the biggest in recent years. If proven, these corruption charges could have serious consequences. Not only for her personally, but also for the reputation of South Africa's political leadership. The inclusion of money laundering charges shows that investigators believe the funds were disguised through various channels, a strategy often used to hide bribe money. The defense strategy is now becoming clearer. Mapisa Nqakula's legal defense has indicated that they plan to make representations to the National Director of Public Prosecutions, NDPP. Essentially, they want to persuade the NDPP to drop the corruption charges before the corruption trial even begins. To build this case, her lawyers have requested the bank records of Nombasa Ntsondwa, the state's key witness. They argue that if Ntsondwa's bank statements don't match the allegations, then the entire bribe scandal could collapse. This explains why the Pretoria High Court accepted the request for more time. It gives the defense 6 weeks to gather documents and strengthen their legal defense. The Mapisa Nqakula corruption case is not just about one person. It's about trust in South Africa's leadership. Every postponement at the Pretoria High Court raises questions. Is justice being delayed? Or is this just part of a fair legal process? For many South Africans, the repeated headlines about corruption charges, money laundering, and bribe scandals reinforce the perception of widespread corruption in politics. Whether or not the NDPP decides to proceed with all 12 corruption counts, the damage to public confidence is already done. This corruption trial is seen by many as a test of whether the justice system can hold powerful individuals accountable. It's also important to note that Mapisa Nqakula has consistently denied wrongdoing. She maintains that the bribe scandal is based on weak evidence and insists that her legal defense will prove her innocence. So, what happens next? The case will return to the Pretoria High Court on the 21st of November 2025. Between now and then, Mapisa Nqakula legal defense will be working on subpoenas for bank records, reviewing the state's docket, and preparing their strategy. The state, on the other hand, will likely strengthen its case using the testimony of Nombasa Ntsondwa, the businesswoman linked to the alleged bribes. If the corruption trial proceeds as planned in November, South Africans can expect dramatic courtroom battles, with the defense challenging every piece of evidence, especially the money laundering charges and the 12 corruption charges. To recap, the Mapisa Nqakula corruption case has been postponed once again. The Pretoria High Court has set a new trial date for the 21st of November 2025. She faces 12 corruption charges and 1 money laundering case, all tied to an alleged bribe scandal. Her legal defense is now focused on subpoenaing bank records and possibly persuading the NDPP to drop the charges. This is one of the most closely watched South Africa corruption news stories of 2025. We'll continue to cover every update from the Pretoria High Court. Make sure you like this video, Subscribe for more updates on South African politics, corruption, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next development in the Mapisa Nqakula trial.